So I've decided if I can't find an older guy, this will be my last year.
Oh.
Because I can't do it anymore. So I've decided that, and not to be dramatic, it's either this is my last year or I'm joining the sisterhood and I'm becoming a nun.
Oh, that's sad. Lovely young woman becoming a nun. I'm sure she can find a man, unless she's crazy or something.
So yeah, it's either I become a nun or it's my last year or I find an older guy.
Men invented arm wrestling so they could look into each other's eyes and hold each other's hands.
I used to have a crush on a penguin. Now, listen, before you speak, all right, this is completely normal. I was young, okay? Now, you had all of them ninja penguins, all right? You had Kowalski, you had Junior, Rico, but ain't nobody did it like Skipper. He took charge and everything. He was the boss, okay? He had a flat head. Everybody in that motherfucker had a round ass fucking head. I said, no, I want my man to be different. And he was different. I ain't, girl.
So we wanted to make a list of pros and cons of being 40 and single.
Okay.
We also came up with our list separately, like we do with everything, and we come together and we have like 2.5 cons and like 3 pages of pros.
Okay, they're going to take a million years to get to their points. We'll get back to them in a bit.
Fuck him, feed him, leave him alone.
We want a man who acts like a man, who's manly, who takes care of things.
Leader.
I don't need you to kill an alligator with your hands, but I need...
With my bare hands!
Hey, that's asking a lot. To kill an alligator with your bare hands? Bruh. That's asking a lot. What's you going to get out of it? A bag? A belt? And you're going to get maimed and scarred for life, probably, or dead.
need to feel so feminine around you because you are so masculine that I can turn my brain off because I know you've got it.
Masculine enough to kill an alligator.
A real man.
That's a bit too far, isn't it?
I trust you. I trust your intellect. I trust your character. I trust that I can close my eyes and follow you blindly and I'm going to be happy about where I end up.
But is he going to be happy in the end if you divorce him?
That's what it's about. We go out. I don't have to use my brain. I don't have to think. You know what I mean? Order the whole thing for us. Take me, plan the thing. Say you tell me where we're going and we're all set. That's honestly... It's so lost on us, and like, yes, toxic masculinity, that's not good, but we need masculinity.
So what, sit down and shut up and you're gonna eat a salad, but say it in a nice way? It's a lot of waffling, isn't it? That's all it is.
It's really important, and that's what we try to push, and we live in a time of, unfortunate new age feminism, and this whole idea that women and men need to be the same, and they need to compete, and it's all from the enemy. It's all lies. None of
So I finally plucked up the courage to send a coffee to the mysterious man at the Strand, and it's been a complete and utter nightmare. When I say it's been a nightmare, I mean I don't even know if what I have planned has actually gone to plan. So I decided to use Uber Eats to send the coffee, and with Uber Eats you can send like a gift note. So ordered coffee, put a little note, paid for it, whatever, done, yeah? Next thing, as soon as I paid for the transaction, it says, now please share your e-note with the person you want to send it to. I do not have any of this man's information. How am I going to send this to him?
At least it's a woman shooting her shot. Is she gonna score? Who knows? She's probably gonna miss. I think she's a truck driver, so some would say she's giving off masculine vibes. Okay, but she's shooting her shot.
She was a very brave woman.
Okay.
No number, no email, and I'm just like, oh my god, what the fuck am I gonna do? They're just gonna send a random coffee to this man, and he's gonna be like, where's this come from?
Tried to poison me.
Quick honest question for the fellas. Let's talk about it. Fellas, when you see a lady on social media and she's bent over, she's twerking, she's dressed revealing, and she's attractive, what are your first thoughts about that woman?
God damn.
What do you really think when you look at her? Are you thinking you want to get to know her because she's attractive and you want to maybe date her, maybe take her home to meet mom? Or are you thinking, I just hate that and that's it? What are your thoughts? What are your real thoughts? I would like to know. What are your thoughts on that?
So, pros and cons of being 40 and single. Pro number 1, I can watch whatever I want on TV, whenever I want, and for however long I want.
Well, you live by yourself.
Well, yes, but it's really funny because you're talking about TV, but this is mine coming up.
Okay.
I can do what I want, when I want, with anyone I want, and I don't have to let anybody know.
She's a freak.
They're freaky 40-plus-year-old women.
And I don't have to let anybody know.
Single, waffling about their lives and getting freaky. Be careful, young men. We call them cougars for a reason.
And I don't have to let anybody know.
Like, it's just exactly.
It's funny because my next one says, I can literally do whatever I want. So that's definitely the theme.
That's my number
of the
one
pro list.
And not that we couldn't do what we wanted to before, but we have to like run it by someone. We have to put it on a calendar.
Which those are in some of my other ones.
Yeah, just do what we want when we want.
Yeah. Okay, so my next pro of being 40 and single, I never have someone silently judging me when I'm scrolling my phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can sit and scroll my phone for 4.5 hours Saturday morning.
Forever.
Nobody cares.
No one's going to say a thing.
Nobody's going to say shit.
Know you were the problem. One time this guy was showing me like photos of his family, and we get to this one photo and there's this like really suave guy like in the back of the photo. He had white hair, he was wearing a white button down, and I look at him and I'm like, oh my god, is that your grandpa? And he was like, no Kim, that's my mom. And I wanted to die.
You're wicked.
You've just met a man, he's showing you his family. You're eventually going to meet his mom, but you think his mom looks like his dad.
I have trust issues now.
Or one of his uncles. Wow. If he blocked you, I wouldn't blame him.
His mother looked like a man, hand on heart, and he never spoke to me again.
You mean to tell me that Finnish people would sit down for dinner, look their mother or father dead in the eye, and say, will you grab me a piece of that juicy pussy? You guys are fucking crazy.
I don't like men, bro. I don't like them. Every time a man wants to talk to me, I just want to bite my fist. Like, ooh. I want to juice your heads. I want to juice them. I want to squeeze your head till juice comes out of it.
Who was interested first? Who said I love you first? Who's more protective? Who cleans more? Who eats the most?
So I've been made aware that the last couple of weeks that the males have hated my video that I was talking about my breakup, and I was saying I broke up with my boyfriend, but he was a good guy, treated me well, but he was not my husband, so we broke up. They had a problem with that because basically what they're saying is good enough should be good enough. But let me tell you one thing, good enough was never good enough for me. I live my life on 10 with everything that I do. I'm not going to look at something that's good and think that it's husband, because here's what it is. Good enough is right here. This is a good boyfriend. This is a husband, okay? And a lot of y'all date men that are in the gutter. See, I feel bad for not only the men be acting crazy anyway, but I feel bad for the women that didn't understand me, because that means that you really like live your life with a scarcity mindset of, oh, I'm gonna take good enough because I'll never get better than good enough. Girl, I will always get better than good enough. And it honestly just really made me sad to see the women that didn't understand what I was talking about, because sis, that means that you dated people that did not treat you well. A prerequisite to dating me is that you treat me well. That's the bare minimum. And the fact that you are not getting bare minimum, I feel sorry for you, sis, but I can't live my life that way.
I would never tell a friend that there are plenty of fish in the sea. This isn't about the amount of fish. Everybody knows there's a ton of fish.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the quality of fish. This is about the fact that 9 out of 10 fish are anchovies.
Yeah.
They're sardines. They're tilapia, bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the problem.
And some of them give you diarrhea as well. They give you diarrhea.
That's the
They don't tell you about getting older is that your frontal lobe starts to develop. Okay, they do tell you that part. But in the process of your frontal lobe developing, you become a lot more boring. I feel like the second I turn, oh my God, is that a fucking hair on the eyes? The second I turned 23, and especially when I turned 24, shit was just not fun anymore. Wrong, okay, there's a lot of perks to becoming older, all that sort of thing. But what they don't tell you is that you start to rationalize things, okay? And what they mean by that is you start taking the high road and your life becomes a lot more a lot less chaotic because you are avoiding the drama, because in your brain it's just not worth it anymore. I also just graduated college, and so I haven't had a big girl job yet, but I just learned how much people are paying in taxes a year for their big girl, big boy jobs. So gagged. I can't believe we haven't stormed the government yet. For the longest time, I thought I was just like in limbo. I thought life was just like boring. I thought I was like in a waiting period, whatever. And then it just clicked for me one day. I was like, oh my God, did my frontal lobe develop?
What? Hey, just a thought, maybe a note, really. If you're pursuing me romantically, I don't need to hear about your dating life. I went on a date with this guy and like we smooched and like obviously we were gonna continue seeing each other. And we were just texting the one day and I was like, oh, what are you up to tonight? And he's like, oh, you know, just like going on a date. Okay. If lying was ever warranted, it's no. And then another man who I was just starting to get to know, like same situation, then told me the other day, like, oh yeah, going through something, like the girl I was talking to just ended things with me. And so naturally I was like, oh, surely this happened before. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, when was that? And he goes, today she did it. And I was like, what? Do you want me to coach you through it? I'm not gonna. What are you doing? We just met. I know you're dating people. I'm dating people. We know that. We don't have to talk about it. I don't need to know about it. I really, actually, frankly, I prefer not to. What happened to secrecy? What happened to keeping those little nuggets of info to yourself? We're not pals. We're not gossiping. This isn't du moi, baby girl. I don't know.
You say men are obsessed with toxic, crazy women.
See, that's the illusion, isn't it? The misconception that men need trauma to fall in love. But it's not the long-term reality. Because they're not falling in love with the right woman. They're addicted to the drama created by the woman. Unstable women inject the emotional highs and lows. These men struggle to manage their entire fucking lives. But what y'all fail to accept is that these self-centered women who drag a man along a leash, pulled by trauma, are the same ones who refuse to acknowledge that men aren't truly in love with them, but rather consumed by the drama they have to create to sustain their attention.
It's chaos, isn't it?
Chaos.
Sweet, lovely chaos. Explosive.
What else did y'all think this was? Listen, in my universe, people who uphold themselves with secure standards in partnerships have no interest in dating a toxic man or a dramatic woman. It's just never been our type, I guess. And that's on Jenny fucking Che. Namaste.
No longer have to deal with anybody's insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
That drives me insane.
Exhausting. That would be probably number one on my list.
Right. That they don't even deal with, but I have to deal with it and change how I do things to.
Single women don't have much to do. They have a lot to do in terms of work and their career and maybe some hobbies and whatever, but they can waffle a lot because, I mean, they are single. They don't have a man to nag. Have a nice day.